Okay, perfect. Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Holly. I'm a licensed cosmetologist and I do hair and makeup for production in New York. So I work on photo shoots for swimwear and e-commerce, and I do a lot of production stuff. I've been doing for the last 10 years. I also do male grooming for Bon Jovi's band. So I've been touring around with them a bit for the last 10 years. And then I also do haircuts and color, and I also do makeup lessons and all sorts, jack of all trades. But so makeup wise, today I wanted to do a little demo of a couple of my favorite things. I thought that would be nice, and I'll show everyone what I have, and I'll tell you quickly, I'll do a little overview of what I have sitting here. I'll tell you quickly why I like it, and then I'll put it on my face. And yeah, I'll do the whole thing. So I don't have any makeup on right now. I don't know if Jan has any OPC over there to show you guys. I don't have any sitting close by, but I've been taking that product, I think, since I was 10 or 11, I think. I'm now 39. But yeah, I've like a baby of the company. So I've been with them, like I've personally been with the company for I think 10 years, and my mom's been with the company for 25 years or something. Teresa knows, however long Teresa's been with the company. Yeah. So I grew up in the business, and I really like them very much. So, and we're still here. So first, I'm not going to do this here because it's face wash, but I really like this face wash. It's the exfoliating face scrub, but I'm going to just put makeup right on my face, and I didn't want to wash my face for you guys. And I'm also not going to put this on, but this stuff is really nice too. Then you can go to bed with this, this stuff is really, really nice. So, but those are things that you want to sit on for like a decent amount of time, that one. And the other thing I really like that I won't put on are these. But these you want them to sit on for about 10 minutes, and they're little jellies. They have a little caffeine in them, and they make everything happy under there. So you could put that on as a prep first if you wanted an extra fancy, getting ready day. But we'll first start with, so in theory, you would have washed your face, you would have patted it dry, and then you would have toned it. So we're going to tone it first. So what you want to do is the reason why you want a pH balance is when you wash your face, you change the pH of your skin, and then you have to bring it back. So that way, when you put your moisturizers on, it works better. So that's step one, is pH balance. I also have in here that I just got is the essence. If anyone has that, I don't know if you guys have that yet. This stuff is really nice. It makes your skin feel super soft. I'm a really big fan of it. So you can, I like all of these products, so you can play and see which ones you guys like the best. The next thing that I think is really important is needle-free serum. Since I'm turning 40 this year, I'm noticing that some things are just slightly moving, and I don't want them to. So we're going to go ahead and button that up. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see the product. It looks like this, and it has a natural tightening effect. So I actually want it under here because I don't want this to drop. So I put this here, and I actually use this product a lot with my male clients because it has a natural tightening effect. Yeah. So you pat that one in.
Oh, what was that called again?
Needle-free serum. Yeah. So it has a visible tightening effect. Needle-free serum. And the way you want to use that is you'd cleanse your face, you'd use the pH skin normalizer first to adjust your pH back to normal. And then you would put that on once the pH has dried. And then just anything, anywhere that you want, like, is where you would tap that stuff. So you can, put it wherever. And then you're going to let that dry. I mean, like, I could just, but I won't.
Holly, can I ask, I'm noticing you're patting everything in, and sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I might rub and up. Is there a significant difference, and would you highly recommend just patting things in instead of rubbing?
There are certain things I personally like to pat, and I like to warm it in my hand. I mean, not this particular product, but like I'm gonna move on to Pentaxel next, and then I'll warm that one. But when you're patting in, if you rub, I find that sometimes your hands absorb the product a little bit. If you pat, it really like pushes it in. Unless you have a lot of product on your hand, then you can like tap it all on there. But I always tend to pat.
Okay.
Even when I'm doing eyeshadow, I pat. Everything is pat and then smooth whatever is excess. Then you can move it to the next place right next to it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if I have any like scientifically special like rhyme or reason to that. It's just like what feels like intuitive to me as far as the product moves and how it works. I find that pressing works well. I personally love this stuff, the serum concentrate. Yeah, so I'm gonna pop that one on next. Now that my needle free has dried. So this is kind of what, there's no lotion on my face yet. So the reason why I'm prepping and putting all of this stuff on is think about a canvas when you're painting. If you paint on a plain canvas, or if you're painting a wall before you did primer, if it was just sheetrock, if you put paint straight on it, it's gonna absorb all of your end product. And you'd see all the little holes and all the little puckers, right? So if you prime your skin and fill it in with moisture and then put a primer, like a barrier on it, then all of your foundation and your powders will look way smoother because they won't get sucked into your face. Yeah. So the reason why I'm doing the serum concentrate is I'm actually using this as part of my makeup now. So now I'm transitioning away from this is me like rubbing it in a little now. Because I want to start making the skin like more like supple so the product doesn't suck up into my face. So now I'm just going in, I'm just getting the blood flow going, kind of moving things around. And this is where you do go up. Yeah, you do go up. And the purpose of this is just to get the skin ready to absorb, not absorb all of your product. Yes. Okay. So this is my favorite lotion. And I've been using this one, I don't know, probably since it came out. I've grown up using this product. But we're going to do something a little different today. And we're going to mix it with my foundation. So I'm going to, before I do that though, I do want to put my primer on. Okay, so I'm going to just put this on where the pores are like visible. So this is really cool. I'll come in close so you can see what's happening. So watch the difference between the sides of the face. Sometimes I put this on Gary. It looks really good on men. Obviously, it's clear and it just makes the skin look a little more texturally smooth. See the difference? I don't know if you can, but like watch. Like it's so cool. I really enjoy this product. Yeah. Yeah. So this one I like. You go really light with it. You don't need a lot, only kind of on the T-zone, anywhere that has like visible pores. In the event someone has a larger pore than this thing can handle, like if you have like an acne scar or like some sort of like big situation, you can use this one. This one's a little bit I would say it's better for like spot correction in my personal opinion, as far as like filling in large holes. I'll open it and show you guys what it looks like. I don't have any like major like acne scarring or anything crazy, but so that's how this one looks. And we can put it up here just so you could see how it looks. So this one's, it is a little more matte. If you could see it, it's not on this side. Yeah. So those are two really nice ones. If you wanted, if you're a person who is like very, very dry and you need to exfoliate and your skin's like doesn't look the best when you are starting to put products on, make sure you exfoliate first, because nothing's what is this? Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Um, it's very important to exfoliate first for all of this stuff to work well. So with that being said, moving on. So I'm gonna go with these two things. So I'm gonna make a tinted moisturizer out of these. So normally I would actually use my custom blend. But I wanted to show you guys a different way to kind of make a tinted moisturizer if you don't have a custom blend kit and you just wanted to play with something you have. I mean, I could also pull the custom blend out and show you what that looks like too. If someone wants to, if there's someone in Texas who can do custom blend, then so mine's like this. And I've made mine to be more pearly and sheer with copper peptides. So mine looks like this, like it's very see-through, right? So we're gonna kind of create something that looks a little bit like this, but with the pentaxle and the stick. So find the color that you think matches you the best. I'm going with buttercream. And when you match how I personally match myself, think about when you're really far away from somebody and they see you, they're not looking at just your face, they see the whole thing. So I like to match when I'm making foundation for people here, right? Because your face is usually a little lighter than, you exfoliate it more than the rest of you. So, and this is, so I'll test here. I just came back from Florida, so I'm a little tan. So this is, I'm a little more bronze, but it's pretty damn close. Kind of disappears. But I already, I know this one's my color. So I'm gonna take a little off. These are all of my personal products, by the way, so I can touch them a little differently than I would if I was using my actual kit. My actual kit, everything's swatched out and different, and you only like use your spatula. So for pentaxle, rub it in your hands pretty good. Right, get it nice and warm. You want to activate this one. I need a little more. Yeah, that's important, the pentaxle. Rub it really good. I'm going to take my foundation now, put it in with my pentaxle. So I'm just rubbing it together. My foundation's mixed into this now. So I'm doing my moisturizer and my moisturizer and my foundation are mixed to one to make a tinted moisturizer that's also anti-aging because it's pentaxle. If you're a person that's concerned about SPF, you can put your We have a really nice sunscreen that is not out. I can't show it to you at the moment, but you could do that one before this step. Okay, so this is how that looks. So it's very hydrating and pretty, and because it's glowy, it's important that you covered your pores with the primer because glowiness shows a lot of imperfection. So then the next thing we want to do is I want to cover these things, and also I'm a little darker here. So now that you've made a tinted moisturizer, that's going to act as a base to the things that are nothing's wrong. Like from here to here, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. This could use a little something. This could use a little something. So everything that could use a little extra something, you're going to do your concealer. So what I like to do is I actually like to use my black little sponge. I don't know if anyone has one of these. The little sponge you do, yeah. So dip it in water. And look at how big it gets. So the sponge, it's really nice if you put it in the water because then it won't suck up any of your product. And then for my concealers, I like these. So I'm going to use two colors. I'm going to use, and I'm going to mix, and I'll tell you why in a second. Okay. I want, let's see here. This one is macaron, and this one is chantilly. Okay, so these are my personal ones, so I'm going to put them using the doe foot directly on my face. If you were going to put this on someone as a tester, you would want to swatch it on a palette, and then you could use a brush, or they could use their finger if they don't have a brush. So this is just how I personally like to do it, and I can tell you why in a moment. So I'll make little dots. And this one is chantilly. And then this one is macaron. It's a little darker and has a little more yellow in there. I don't want to look like I'm going to have some sort of crazy face paint, like war paint on here, but works kind of good, right? Okay. So there's two colors here. And the reason why I'm mixing these two colors is I'm between foundation colors at the moment. And also one of them is a little more yellow than I want. So it's nice to mix one that has a little more pink in it. So then a tapping, 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 tapping. The reason why I've put this on pretty much the bottom of my natural eye socket and not up onto the under eye is because I want room for it to spread out and blend. If you put the product too close up in here, then you're going to get really close to your eyelashes and you're going to run out of places to blend. So you can kind of see what's going on here. Yes, and I'm going to keep all of this extra coverage that the concealer is offering me to my T-zone, because I want the rest of my face to not look like I have makeup on. I want my freckles to show. I don't mind a little bit of imperfection on the edges of my face because I'm a human and it's fine. And then whatever this doesn't cover, you can go back in and spot correct and isolate. So notice how it's almost contouring my face a little bit. It's giving me like these highs and lows. I'm going to go in with the back where there's no makeup on it anymore and just buff it in. All right, so I think I also want to do, I'm going to do a drop here. The reason why I'm putting it here is I just want the same color to match around. Okay, so that's kind of what's happening. Go back into with my cream stick a little bit. I want a little more coverage on those guys. I just want to see. Let's see if I don't want to do too much because they're a little new and I don't want to put a lot of product on them, but I'm gonna go a little bit. So that is it. Without any blush or bronzer or anything, it just kind of flat for now. I don't know if you could see it. Okay. And then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to move into this a little bit. Yep. So I personally like this color for my skin tone, and that's just me. That's just my personal preference. So how I like to put this is a cream. I don't know if you can see it or not. These two are powder and then everybody else is a cream. So this is where we're going back to padding again. So these are very pigmented. You do not need a lot like at all. It's pretty mega. Do you see? And then I like to smile and I'll make my apples kind of full so I can see where the bloods naturally would like flush in my face. And if you drink too much wine, what does it look like? Do that then. Yeah. Like maybe not quite wine level, but you know, happy medium. And then I actually like to bring it up a little bit. I think it does something nice. It kind of like pulls. Yeah, so I just took all the blood out of my face by using the concealer and the foundation, right? Because that's all neutral. And then you just decide where you want the blood to be. We'll just isolate it here. And then I also like to mimic this color up here. Because from far away, everyone's going to see from far away. Without it, see how this looks like kind of flat and even and like a little boring? So you take the same thing. And it's okay that it's blush. That's no biggie. So basically, I'm doing this in the places that I would put a contour. But I'm not the biggest fan of contour. I think that that only looks nice in a photo. I don't love it for in person. Just because I think if you don't look at the person directly straight on, it looks silly. That's my own personal preference as a professional. And then also this part of your face right here is going to be like, you're going to be really light here because your head's in the way, right? So when you look at someone from here to here is going to be way pale generally. So you can go back in with a little bronzer after. Okay. So that's just bringing the blood back in. And this is a very natural, like glowy face. Like it's nothing, nothing crazy. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to put a little primer on my eyelids. The reason why I'm doing this, and I don't always do this. It depends what I'm doing with my eye makeup. This blocks the oil from coming through. So if you tend to crease, if your makeup creases, if you need a little like balancing out of the skin tone, whatever, there's many reasons that you would want to put that there. So I like to tap it. So I just went like this and took a little, like a very little. And I start by putting it in the middle of my eyelid, and then I move it around. Because the most important place that it goes is in the crease, because that's what you don't want to transfer, right? And you really do not need a lot of this at all. But you will feel it when you put it on, but you won't see it. And then the next thing I want to do is I'm going back in with this guy. This is my concealer again. And the reason why I'm doing this is I just want to brighten the eye, because I'm not going to put a lot of eyeshadow on. So I'm using the concealer as the color of my eye. Because I wanted to show you guys almost like a no makeup, but with like a smudgy lash line into like maybe like a mini cat eye, because I think that is a cute look. And I know a lot of people have a hard time with a cat eye. So you could hold your eye like this too, if you need a little extra assistance. If it moves around a lot, like if you can't coordinate keeping it closed and doing this. So it's pretty natural, nothing crazy. From afar, it doesn't really look like anything's happening yet. Okay, we're gonna go to this palette for fun. So highlight, like bronzer, contour, highlight. You can, whatever. There's no rules. Makeup has no rules. You can do anything that feels good, right? Like it's art. So I'm going to use this brush. So the rules with brushes and sizes and things that work best with like whatever size you pick. Generally, you pick the size of the brush that fits the space you're using. So for example, like I would not want to use like this brush to put my eyeshadow on with, because it's way too big for the space. I mean, you could if you were doing bronzer, that would be fine. But something like this is really nice for a contour if you wanted to get into there. Because I don't love contour, I'm going to do it anyway and show you, because I think a lot of people like it, but and I'll show you anyway, but for contour, this is better, not this one. This one's better for like buffing out. So, and because I want to do a little warmth, I'm going to do the contour as more of a like a sun-kissed piece of definition and less of like a shadow that would a high light bulb would create. Because usually when people contour, they're thinking, okay, let me etch out here. You know, you're thinking about like the light source hitting the high point and then it wraps around, and whatever's in the shadow is where you would do the dark. That's like traditional contour. This one I want to be more like sun-kissed and natural looking. So this is more of a natural shadow. This one's more of like the sun. So we'll go with the warmer one. And I'm going to put it, remember where you put the blush? Kind of here. This one, I'm putting it on the top towards the back, because I want to blend my hairline into this. So you're almost making like the letter C. So I'll blend the hairline in. And then You see it starting to take shape. And then same thing here. At the ear, because it's weird if the ear is white, you can't leave it out. And then you want to get under here. And behind the ear. And then the part that is always really pale, this part. So me personally, I also put my bronzer on my eyelids. And I actually use it as my eye color. Because I like when all the colors match to start. I think it's fun. And then you could add your accent color later. And this is nice and easy, especially if you're learning, because it's so close to your natural skin tone. If you make a mistake, you could just smush it around and it's okay. But it's a really cool way for the, like a really natural, you know, it's like shaping your face very naturally without doing too much. And then for me personally, I like to go back in because this is wet and it makes the product look like it's not powdered. And then I kind of blend it in a little further. Compared to the side that doesn't have it yet. It's also nice. They're just different. Do you want me to have my face be symmetrical, or do you want me to leave this one this way? Because I could keep it this one really natural and do a super natural version and then do this one a little more. Preference?
Mary, you want them to be different? Yes, okay, different.
Okay,
They're
cool.
saying different.
I'll
Holly.
bump, cool. I'll bump this side up a little bit and then we'll keep this one real easy.
Different. Yeah.
So this one is just gonna be a blush, and then maybe we'll do a little like a little smudge in the lash line. This one I'll do a little cat eye, so you can see kind of both. So then with that being said, we're gonna go on to what the highlight does then. So that's over here. These they're really shiny. So I like them for here. The reason I am tapping it with my finger and not using a brush is because I really want to see where I'm putting it. I want it to be very specific. And the one that I'm using is the one on top. The other reason why I'm pushing it is because I want to press the pigment in. I don't want any of it to fluff around and hit me in the face anywhere else. Because sometimes what happens is if you start with the brush and you dip it in and then go to put it on, it goes, and then all your makeup is all under your eyes. So anything that's like very like shimmery or complete or very, very dark, I'll tend to press on with my hand first, and then I'll go in and blend it once it's on my face. That doesn't always work with matte colors. That's more of like a sparkly color situation. If it's matte, you kind of need the brush. And then so just blending it out. Yeah, so it's very natural, but you have the glow. Yep, so then the same thing on this side. I'm going to do the highlight the same. Do it there on the top, but this one just says the blush, so forego the contour on this side. And then I'm also going to do the same thing here. So because this side's more natural, I'm gonna highlight it a little more for fun. I'm gonna leave this side a little smokier. Yeah, so you get the shine pick up here, you get it here. If you want to, you could also put it here. Just makes it a little more glowy. That it just depends on kind of what amount of like glowiness. I want to look glazed like a donut always, so that I always do that. Okay, so we'll move on to this. I really like this. This was a nice palette. Everything's very pigmented. See? Like super pigmented. So with that being said, I'm going to use my fingers because I like that. I like that. Like, see how pigmented, right? You're not going to get that same color payoff with a brush. It just isn't going to happen. The denser the bristle, the more color payoff you're going to get. So this is not even a bristle. So of course it's going to be the most. So I'll do for my heavier side, I'll go with these two. And then I'm going to put this in the lash line and then I'll do a little wing. So I'll start with this one here. And then I'll blend this with the brush, but I'm going to put it down with my finger at first. So I'm just tapping. And I'm placing this to go between my lashes and right above where my eye naturally creases. So I want when my eye opens, I want to see it stop about here. So I'll keep going so you can see. So it's about almost imagine like your orbital socket when you find it, you could feel the bone right here. And your finger kind of naturally pushes in. There's like the soft spot between your eyeball and your orbital socket, that little like natural like hole that's there. That's where I'm stopping. And that's your crease. So I pretty much follow the bone. So I could even close my eyes and do it with my eyes closed. I'm not looking at my face, I'm following the bone. But that's just my own eye too. It could be different depending on if your eye is very hooded or not. Okay, so I put that on. It's there. So then now this is where the brush part comes in. Right, because the important part of the brush is that you blend out the part that connects the no eyeshadow to the eyeshadow. You don't necessarily need the brush to put everything on too. I mean, when you're doing someone else's makeup, it might be easier to do the whole thing with the brush. That's just a personal preference. And then I also I like to take this too. And I'll do a little bit under here. I like to do a drop shadow sometimes for a little extra definition. Yeah, so that's Don't want the other side to throw it off. And then for the little bit of the darker color, like the crease color, this is kind of where the brush is important because you have to get in there. It's that thing's smaller, that'll be a smaller area than what your finger can do. So I'm going to use this brush. It's kind of like, it's like a little mini football. This guy. And I want to put this one. My goal is to make this part look like it's sinking back a little bit. So I like to tap. See how it's starting to sink back? And then now that there's some product off of my brush, I'm going to start moving it up towards the crease a little bit more. And I'll let it feather. And then if you want, you can also do a little drop shadow down there too. And then we have this guy, the little eyeliner pen. So this one, I find if you hold it straight, you can get a much thinner line than if you hold it on the side. So this is the holding it straight. See the difference? So it depends on how you, like what you want. So if you want a big fat line, hold it like this. If you want a baby line, hold it like this. And I want a baby line. So when you do a cat eye, what you are actually exaggerating is the angle of the bottom of your eye. So imagine, I'll use a tool. See this shape that's happening here? So this is what's gonna track where my cat eye goes. So it's not actually a curved line that's happening it is starting from the top of your eye, of course, but the shape is mimicking the angle of the bottom. Can you see it starting? And if you look at the bottom of my eye, see it's in line with the bottom of my eye. So then you start to bring it onto your lash line. The important part about this one is that it's very close to the skin and that there's no skin showing where your eyelashes grow. I need a little mirror. I can't see that far away. My eyes are good, but they're not that good. I don't know if you could see how it's very close to the lash line. So you do it in two, I like to do it in two parts when I'm teaching people. Put it on the lash line and then make a tail and then you connect them just so you can see that it's actually two kind of straight lines as opposed to like a swoop. So then I don't know if you could see this. I'll do it more exaggerated so you can see it better. Do you see it kind of? So I did the big part here with this part on the side here. So that part's as fat as the big part. And then the tail I'm gonna do with this part. And I'm just doing little, like little tiny. So get it on there. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're doing a fun thing with the angle brush. So you just kind of have to get it on there, kind of. So it's on there, kind of. I mean, it's not bad, but it's also not great, right? So then we're going to do a fun thing. We're going to take these two things. This is 10 years younger, and we're going to spray 10 years younger onto your angle brush. So I'm going to spray it on my hand, and I'm going to dip into my angle brush. So my angle brush is wet now. And then we're going to go into our black. We're going to make an eyeliner. See it? So the reason that we're doing this is I think it's a little softer and you can get in there a little better. And you can also smudge it if you want to, but this kind of, you get the bulk of it with it, and then you can go in. I know it's hard for me to see and show you guys at the same time. You see it? So from far away, it looks like a cool cat eye, but you only did the outside. So it's way easier than trying to fight with the whole thing. So if you want to do a natural version of that, don't do any eyeshadow there. Just do, let me open up the little bronzer guy. So less intense version of this. Back here, bronzer. I'm going to use this because I actually do want it on the whole thing. Right, so I'm not using the little brush because I want to hit all of it. But I'm holding this up so that way I don't crease while I'm doing this. Okay, gives it a little something, a little depth. So you go back to your angle brush. So you skip the eyeliner completely. You're back here. And then you take this. And you're just working it into your lash line. So I'm going kind of from underneath almost. So I'm taking the place of an eyeliner or a pencil or something like that with this. So I'm going right where the eyelashes grow, not above it. And then you can go all the way, depends on how much you want, but you could widen it a little on the outside. And that's what that looks like. You know, it's nice. So from far away, it doesn't look like you have makeup on, but you know, when you could see it. And then once your product is almost off your brush, then you start going towards the inside because you don't want so much. So it's basically just making the lash line look a little thicker. If you wanted to give it like a little wing, you can, let me read that. If you wanted to give it like a little bit of a flick, you can, I'm back in here now. Back with the black. Tap it off. I didn't spray it again, so I'm just, this is a little, gonna be a little powdery. I don't want it to fluff down on my face. So again, you're going with the angle, so you can tell that the shape would be here. So then that's your little V, and then you just want to fill it in a little. I don't know if you can see a little V. Yeah, so it's a really tiny little, tiny. But that's just giving you the illusion. Depending on what color your eyebrows are, we have a couple pencils. We're gonna move on, move on to that for now. There's a couple different colors. I'm going to go with, where did it go? The black brown. And the thing with the eyebrows, everyone's eyebrows are super personal and they all need different things. For me personally, I like to see my skin through my eyebrows. I don't want it to look like there's product, but I also want my peak here to be a little more defined, and I do want my tail to be a little more defined. So I actually do like to go in and put a little bit there. So you guys can see. So I'll go like this. So you see there's a little tiny bit there. And then going with this. Because I don't want my eyebrows to look penciled. I just want a little bit of help that gives them a little bit of shape. So see the peak starting to happen. So I'm barely putting any product in. I'm just giving them the illusion that they're a little more than they are. So when I see my eyebrows, to me, this looks like a big U. And you can probably see it now. This is like a big naked U. So I want to give this a little bit here. And then I also see this hole right here. I don't know if you could see it, but I do a little there. So from far away, it just looks like a nice eyebrow, as opposed to this side that's a little wimpier. But I barely did anything, right? So that all depends on what your own personal eyebrows need. So if anyone has personal eyebrow questions, I can answer them after. So for this eye, obviously they're sisters, not twins. That's how that works. So this one needs something a little different than this side. This side doesn't need as much tail. This one's a little longer. And it doesn't need that much over here. This eyebrow is a little bit bigger in general. So I don't want to do too much, otherwise they'll look a little uneven. But that, I mean, you saw what they looked like before I did that. I barely did anything and they look way different. Yeah. If you wanted to bump them up even more, like you could, there's a personal preference. I like to see the skin through the brow, personal preference. So for mascara, my favorite thing is actually mixing the lash primer with the 3D. So I'll go ahead and do this side with the lash primer, and I'll do this side without the lash primer, and then you can see. So the 3D mascara is a very smooth, like soft formula. So I think it has a lot of versatility. You could plump it up with the lash primer and make them look like really big and crazy if you want to, or it could be super natural and very like smooth looking. So it just depends on your personal, like how you like your lashes. You would curl your lashes first if you are a person that does that. This is my own personal one, so I'm going to put it directly on. When I'm putting this on, I actually close my eye onto it and I roll it like this. I'm doing this. So that way I'm not actually like, look at how my hand's not moving at all, right? I'm using my eyeball to close down onto it as I'm rolling the thing instead of going like this, right? You have way more control. I don't know if you can, you won't hit your eyelid so much. And I'm also moving the brush around to match the shape of my, the angle that the roots are coming out. So for the inside of my eye, I want the brush to be like this. For the middle of my eye, I want it to be like this. For the outside of my eye, I want it to be like this, because you want it to get to the roots. And then if you want really, really big eyelashes, let it dry for a second, and then you can hit the ends a little bit more. Can you see it? Okay. And the other side I'm not going to do, just so you could see how this works. This is my favorite thing. I feel like I don't see a lot of people using that. It's literally my favorite. I use it every day. Okay, so this wand looks like this, which is nice because it mimics the shape of your eye, right? So same thing, put that on, if you want to do this part, angle it here, middle here, and here. And I do my eye the same way where I keep it and I close it while I'm putting it on. So I'm letting it kind of rake through all of the primer I just put on. Oh, good. My eyelashes are not cooperating, which is perfect because I can show you how to fix them because this is actually really helpful. Okay. So sometimes you have a lash that wants to not do the thing you want it to do because you slept on your face and it's being stupid. So this is what you do. This is what I do. This is the pen. I take the pen and I find the lash that's being weird and I separate it. So basically I kind of like unstick them from each other. But I use this and I look from underneath so I don't accidentally poke my eyeshadow because that would be bad. But yeah, my eyelashes are not cooperating directionally because I slept on my face and you shouldn't do that. Oh, and I can also show you how to clean up mascara too. Oh, actually, yeah, that's a really good thing. Okay, watch. I'll show you how. we'll do that in a minute. I'm going to show you how to fix that. Okay. Step one, let it dry. Because sometimes that happens. You sneeze, you put your mascara on, you're like, crap. Okay, so this is this side. This is the side of my face I did not sleep on, so these ones are cooperating way more. They're way straighter. See the difference? Like, look at them from the side. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this up and I'll show you. It's really fun. You will need a Q-tip and a lotion. Yeah, no more sleeping on your face. Don't do it. Okay. Q-tip and lotion. So when it's dry, I need my mirror so I can see. Yeah, any makeup mistake you do, you can pretty much fix it with lotion. So you're basically softening everything. And then now I'm going to take all of my eyeshadow that I just smushed around. I'm going to blend it back into the empty spot. And then you can go back in and put your eyeshadow back on. Just, just in case someone does that and they're like, crap, I just did all this work on my smoky eye. What do I do? That's what you do. Yeah. And then I picked a different color. I did this color instead for the crease because I didn't show you guys a crease color, so I might as well. Yeah, so it's probably not perfect, but it's better than it looked before, right? It's like a good way in case, if you're in a pinch, you don't have time to redo the whole thing. It's like a good way to fix it. I'm gonna go fix my eyelash a little bit in that one spot that's being slept on. So as you can see, this eyelash wants to bend the wrong way, or maybe you can't see. So I'm gonna make it go up. So I'm using oh yeah. This is fun. I love teaching. Yeah, so then now I'm just finding each individual lash and I'm going up with it. And you could do that on this side too, if you wanted a little more. Yeah, once it's dry, then you can go back in. If you don't have the primer and you want them to get pretty big, it won't get as big with by itself. But once they're dry, you can go back in and like hit the ends of them if you want to beef it up a little bit more. Yeah, so that's kind of that. If you're a person who likes bottom mascara, what I do is I take the wand and I wipe off a lot of it back on here. And then I lightly tap. I don't do too much. just to give it like a little something. I'm gonna let that dry for a sec. I'll add one more thing to this once those lashes dry. I'll show you how I like to curl my lashes. I'll curl them when the mascara is almost dry, but I'll use my finger and I'll just blink into it. But you can't do it while it's wet. For a lip, and this side is like actually pretty messy for me. It's hard to do it in front of a computer when I can't get up really close to the mirror. We'll do a lip. So there's a couple ways you can do a lip. If you like your lip shape and you want to define your lip shape, you could go in with a lip liner. I'm going to use this one. It's Dusty Rose. If you like your lip shape. If you don't like your lip shape, we'll do something a little different. I'll do that first. So take your concealer. Take your concealer and tap it a little bit here and a little bit here. This one's a little lighter for me. Let me mix this one. So the reason why I'm doing this is because often a lot of times people's skin's a little darker around their mouth. Just hyperpigmentation, whatever, melasma, anything, whatever. So you're making sure that all of the color around your mouth is pretty even. And then this is a lip liner. I'm gonna go in like this with it. So see how I'm starting to fill in down the middle? And fill in up the top. And in the corners. See it starting a little bit? You can see it's almost like a little, like, I don't know, like a little T. I'll exaggerate it so you can see it better. Okay, so the corners are pretty good. And you're gonna do the corners and the bottom. So fill them all the way in. I pushed so hard I broke the pencil. Be more gentle. And then I'm going to go in down here. And I'm going to bring it up. This is that like weird like Kylie thing that she does where she makes her lip look all big and crazy. And then I'm going to lightly go slightly outside the edge here. So the corners are not outside, just the top and the bottom. See it starting? So then I like to go in with a lip brush and I just blend it. So this is like your underpainting, kind of. Your little underpainting. And then I'm gonna put a lipstick on over this. So this, the way this looks, people aren't supposed to see. That's just for underneath. And then this is my personal lipstick. This one is brunch and I like this color. So I'm just gonna put it directly on my face. All the tapping, notice how I'm tapping again. Okay, then now I'm gonna blend again. I do the lips the same way I do my concealer and everything else. And then you can go in and feather it out. They're pretty big now. And then if you wanted to pop a little lip gloss on, I'm doing Sweets. This is my one of my very favorite ones. I really like this one. There's a little sparkle in it. And this is my personal one, so I'm just gonna put it on. So I tend to keep the gloss more in the middle and I will pull it towards the corners, but I don't want to like blob the whole thing on there because I don't want it to feel like it's migrating around. Yeah, that's like a nice way to, you know. If you wanted to do, I'll do one more other fun thing. And I show you guys how to bump this one up even like one step more for funsies. What I like to do, if I wanted to do even more with that, you could do, go back to your angle brush. And you could put it in this brown. Since we haven't played with this color yet, we'll play with this one a little bit. So while your eye is open, recognize where your crease is. So while it's open, you're gonna find it and you're gonna stamp it with that color while the eyeball's open. So that's where mine is when my eye's open. When it's closed, look at how far away it is from where you might think it would go. See what I mean? So that's why you kind of want to do that, because otherwise, how would you know where to put it? So then go back with this guy. And then you can fill in underneath what you just did. But at least you know when you open your eye, you're still going to see it because you've decided where it was going to end already. And then tapping, tapping, tapping. And then this is where the fun part happens. You take this and you blend it out over the cat eye part. So I'm just exaggerating the cat eye even a little more. And then you could do that same thing under the eye if you want. If you want it also, you can put it here. And do like a big drop shadow if you wanted. So it looks, you know, kind of fun. And then how I curl them is I go like this. Now that they're all the way dry, I take my finger like this and I blink down onto it and I push them up. Look at how much more you can see them. So I'm like pushing this up and, you know, it's hard to see from the camera, I'm sure. But yeah. And then the last thing I like to do is I'll kind of like step back and look to see if I need any more of anything. It depends on like how natural or oomphy you want to be. Like for this side, I would, the only thing I would do is cover these. I'm just not going to cover them so much because I want to let them air out. But for this side, maybe I might say, oh, maybe I need a little more highlight or something if you wanted. Or I could say, oh, maybe I want like a little sparkle. Maybe I want a little sparkle. The little sparkle's always fun. And what's funny is I'm actually using the lip brush to do this because it's the correct size. But it's fun, a little sparkle. Yeah, you could also, if you really want to go crazy, you could do it here too. Little highlight. This is the eyeshadow that I'm putting on my lips, by the way. It's fun, a little frosted. Why not? Yeah. If you have a clear mascara, you could put that on your brows. But you know, that's it. All done.
Wow. Holly, you have the most delightful personality.
Oh,
And seriously, I mean, everything about you, I'm absolutely in love with you. And this is so gorgeous. And I mean, just really, I don't know about you guys, but it makes me rethink everything and how I've
Oh,
always
yeah.
done it. So, so good. I am so happy you were willing to do this for all of us tonight. Seriously,
yay.
so good.
Beautiful, Holly. You look beautiful before, but even more
Yeah.
beautiful now.
What do you remember the most about it?
I love the tip with the pentaxel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I love
You
the
can
stick.
Something you want to comment, go ahead.
say it again.
I was telling the girls here that we're unmuted at the, oh my gosh, that little part outside the eye, I've been trying that for years and not getting it nice and crisp like that. We all want to try it here. We all want to try it.
Yeah. Yep.
I love the
Right.
way, Holly, I love the balance in your face. I mean, you know, it's just amazing to me. I usually go more cheeks, and I just love how seriously, like everything looks so natural, and you popped the lips, which made everything just come together so balanced. I
Mhm.
just, that's the word that comes to mind, is just love the way it all, and even with the brows, I love how you know, you're just so respectful that, hey, whatever it is you choose, I- So just a lot, but the simplicity of it and how natural and soft and pretty everything
Awesome,
looks. But
awesome.
yeah, very balanced. Yeah.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Mm.
I actually put this
That's
in
my next look, Shelley.
my yard.
Yes, Mary, I know.
Just
Nice.
Yeah.
very soft.
Holly, I have to tell you a testimony for the new Essence. When you spoke about that product, I have had a red spot on my upper lip for 13 years. And it just, no matter what product, whatever, it just never goes away. That is the first product. It has diminished, almost disappeared now in just this short
Cool.
time. So I think I'm on week number 3 with the Essence. So man, you guys, that product, it does make your face and your skin feel absolutely amazing also. But I'm just so happy. I hated that red spot. Every time I would wash my face or whatever, it's the first thing I would look at. And so for anybody out there with hyperpigmentation or red spots, I mean, it's an old red spot and it's actually diminishing it.
That's so awesome. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look great, Holly.
Yeah.
Very,
Anyone
really, I
have
love it.
questions?
Jan had a question in there, Holly, that what if someone has Jan, how did you put it with the dropped eyelid?
The hooded eye. I
Hooded
just-
eye.
There's a term for it, the hooded eye.
Hooded
Yeah.
eye.
Talked about it a little bit, the one where your eyeballs just go right into your socket and all you have is above the eye.
Yes. How would you put on shadow then?
Yes.
So there's 2 answers. Or I guess 2 things that I would suggest. Where's my, just need my little brush. Okay. So remember how the last thing I did was I kept my eye open and I found the place while my eye was open. I'm gonna do it really exaggerated quickly with the black, so that way you could see, and this is what you're gonna do with your eye, but use something matte in that specific area. You can use sparkles, after, but just sink that spot back. So on someone who has a hooded eye, this part kind of drops down, so when they open, it goes up in and you don't see what the work you did. So what you can do is while you're open, the spot that is actually drooping down and like touching where your lashes might go, is you hit it with this and you sink it back visually by making it look dark.
Mm.
Oh,
So you do that, but this is going to be, when I close my eye, it's actually going to be on the skin that is not colored, is actually the stuff that's puffing out on the person with the hooded eye, right? Because when they open their eye, it rolls back up and you don't see so Jan, you're gonna have to play with this and like find out, where on your eye it works for you. So you'd put it there
huh?
and then you would feather it out. So I'm on purpose using a little tiny brush so I could get in. So it looks like that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I even like that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that. Actually looks great.
Yeah. And then just diffuse the edge a little.
Blending is the key. Blending is the key.
Yeah. The next one we do, I could show you guys how to do a cut crease. Those are cool.
You're a good teacher, Holly.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, but see how I'm blending with my eye open?
Mm.
Mhm.
Because I want to make sure that you could see the color while my eye is open still.
I don't have to dark. Boy, what you guys.
Wow, looks so pretty.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Yeah. But then I always like to finish it off with a powder.
Yeah, so powder, I could tell you guys a little bit about powder. I don't have one. I do have one. I don't have one out. Where did I put
I
it?
like the more matte finish one I want mine, cause 10 years younger, 10 years younger.
Yes, okay, let me get my powder. So. Little translucent powder. If you're a person that is oily,
Younger spray that you
definitely powder your T-zone.
to like freeze dry and fix it. And it's a light spray.
Powder your T-zone. If you're a person that gets oily.
Freeze dry.
And then I like to do in here. You don't want this part to look shiny.
But if you want it to be a kind of a softer look, then you use a powder afterwards after it dries. And if you're in a hot atmosphere, whatever's happening, that will keep your makeup intact.
And then you would spray. Oh yeah, we both holding this up. Yeah. So the thing with the powder is I don't always like it for various reasons. Sometimes if you put it on too heavy, it makes the makeup look a little dry. And if that happens, in the event you put too much powder and it looks a little flat and like a little ashy, you can bring it back.
That the normalizer? The
Yeah,
pH?
that's normalizer. Hit it.
Oh, good.
You
Oh,
still-
Gary's taking you out tonight.
I make it.
Oh my God, Gary, it's so Gary's making a meal plan in the other room for a client. But yeah, see how it brought that right back?
Wow, you look great.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, powder use sparingly. Use it on your like smile lines because that you don't want that to look shiny. You know, like put it a little bit there. You could put it a little here
This is a gentle eye
if you
makeup.
crease. In here if you get shiny. That's it. Don't put it here. You don't need it here.
Super good.
You're an awesome
Great
teacher.
job, Holly.
Thank you,
Yes,
Holly. Excellent
Great job.
So good.
I'm glad
So good.
I'm glad I could get on tonight.
Yeah.
Yes. Teresa is my neighbor and we don't hang out enough. What the heck?
Oh, I know. I still want you to help me with these black eyes.
Yeah,
Although your
well,
mom said it looked better.
Nice and big,
Good.
and makeup remover and white if you get lazy at night.
Oh, yeah.
Tend to do that.
And then as far as like, Jan, can I have you mute for 1 second?
Yeah.
Thank you. As far as like skincare internal products, I really like the OPC Beauty Blend.
Mhm.
I think that
use
one's
that.
really nice. And also I think magnesium is really good because you want to, the thing with the face is it will show you if you're not giving it nice food and vitamins and things like that. And if you're starting to break out, then that means your lymph system is screaming and you need to flush a little. So if you do some magnesium, that'll help you, you know, with like bowel movements and stuff like that. So I usually do 2 caps in the morning and 2 caps at night.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
just me.
Mhm.
Mm.
And then you can start your morning with a lemon water.
Yeah, that's a good tip, Holly. I used to do lemon water in the morning and I haven't done that in a long time. So I'm
You
gonna.
forgot about it.
Add
That
that.
happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, we-
Just get out of habits. Yep.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yes,
Awesome.
because we know that beauty starts from your inside out.
Right.
The one thing that really bothers me is I see these things on Facebook where they have this makeup that covers everything up. But you're gonna cover everything up for the rest of your life. If you can get your inside and your skin looking beautiful, you could just maybe do a powder on one of those days and maybe a little bit of eyeshadow and you're out and you're gone. You never have to cover it up all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jan, for the invitation. Thank you, Holly. It's truly been a pleasure getting to know you and just see your delightful personality and what a great teacher. You have such a gift. So thank you so
I
much.
agree.
Thank you
Good
for
job,
having
I
Holly.
applaud you, Holly. Yay!
Yes,
Thank you very
great
much.
job. Thanks, Hal. Thanks for letting me know.
Of course.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
It's same bad time, same bad channel tomorrow. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Holly. Great job.
Yes, likewise. I'll see you tomorrow.